Sahana bhavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryan karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Yesterday we talked about controlling the spirit.
Yeah.
So, what is the differences when anybody speak gossip and speak, so just reveal the facts, the news from the outside. So where is the line between these two things?
What do you mean by revealing the truth? Means just describing what happened somewhere. Well, first, truth is not just facts. Truth is something that is, as we'll see in Bhagavad Gita, austerity, according to this, in Sattva Guna, regarding the speech, is you speak words that are truthful, but also they are beneficial for others. Beneficial means they are uplifting in spiritual sense. They help you in your spiritual development. So if you just reveal the facts and figures, and they are exactly according to what happened in reality, but it is not beneficial for the spiritual advancement of someone, it is not accepted as truth in a spiritual sense. Like there was a sannyasi who fell down, and then the devotees very quickly, the news spread very quickly. Then when Prabhupada understood this, he was very displeased. He said, now he cannot come back anymore, because he will feel embarrassed by this. And it was, apparently, what the devotees did was correct, because they just revealed the truth, what happened. But Prabhupada was not pleased. So that means it's not real truth. It's not real in a spiritual sense. It's not beneficial. So we should be careful with these things. Because one of the the sins described in scripture is you kill a brahmana, but also if you destroy his reputation, it's also killing. So it's another sin. So what's the difference between facts and gossips? This is the question. So keeping this in mind, what we just spoke. And basically, we shouldn't indulge in discussing the faults of the devotees, because this is not beneficial to us. There is a story, we should not criticize the devotees, because when we discuss this devotee did this and he did this and he has this anartha, what happens actually? We accept the karma of this devotee. We take the karma. There is a story from the Puranas where some lady, she did something wrong, and then the implication of this was so great that even Yamaraj felt compassion, because she didn't do apparently something it was not very grave, it was not big serious sin, but somehow she had to suffer for a long time. And then Yamaraj told her, now you dress as a prostitute, but you don't do anything. You just dress like this and you walk around. Then people will start criticizing you, and then they'll get all the reactions that you were supposed to get. And then you'll be freed from this. So actually, people who are very much into gossip and kutinati, finding faults, they're doing great community service. Because they attract the karma, and they have to suffer it out. So we should be careful. This is for our own benefit. It is not that when we criticize someone, we're doing actually something bad. No, it's just the opposite. We are benefiting this person in this sense. So better to concentrate on the positive side and to be like a, what is the example? Like a bee rather than like a fly. This is our choice in life we have. Because there will be always, in the material world, there will be always dualities. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, every endeavor is covered by faults, so this is our choice. We are going to concentrate on the bad or on the positive. And here in the Nectar of Instruction, we can see one of the verses. It will come later. Rupa Goswami describes the advanced devotees. This is text 5. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Of course, if this is our duty to criticize, then we should. But this is usually the duty of the spiritual master. Or if you are someone who is very senior and you take care of those who are dependent on you, then part of your duty is to criticize them. But not because you are just materially, you feel materially superior to them, or you want to take advantage or to feel better, because when you criticize someone, then you feel good because you're better than him. This is the subtle way of experiencing sense gratification while criticizing. But the motivation should be to help this person. Then you can criticize also. Srila Prabhupada, in fact, he says, he's quoting Niti, I think, Chanakya, is that the son and the disciple, you should always criticize them, otherwise they get spoiled. You should always find something to criticize. But when they are dependent, when they are your disciples, and when you have the proper motivation, then is that okay? Yeah.
I'm not at home, and sometimes my friends write to me, please email, this happened, that happened. And so from my viewpoint, I just have to hear that and not writing any comment to that, because I don't know exactly what happened. Okay, I just see from one viewpoint what's happened and what will be happen perhaps. But the main thing to us, devotee, not say consequence to anything, what it's perhaps not beneficial to
Basically, one shouldn't get involved as much as possible in these things. I mean, if you get these emails and these are your friends, so it will be kind of also maybe not very polite just to tell them, no, you committed offense. And you should see how to keep the relationship with them, but also not to get involved in this kutinati, because you will get the reaction of it. You personally, not. They will be also getting something, but you also will. This is your personal responsibility. So if you do it, you'll get the reaction. Yes, Matish.
I was
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Yeah, quote Bhagavad Gita, Api Chet Suduracharov, for example. This famous verse. If you read the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to this verse, you see how strong Krishna is on this point. Because Arjuna reveals doubts. Arjuna seemingly doesn't accept in the beginning what Krishna says, that my devotee will never perish. And Arjuna keeps asking questions, then at the end, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Krishna with little angry, he makes the following statement. And Krishna again repeats, my devotee will never perish. Krishna gets little angry even with Arjuna, because he's keep pushing this point. That is a very strong point. This is what you meant? Give the spiritual perspective? Yeah, because spiritual perspective is ultimately positive, because we all spirit souls, and this is just a covering on the soul, and we shouldn't take it too seriously. We have been committing sinful activities since a very long time, and from Krishna's point of view, it is not something very unusual. It's not unusual. It's kind of normal in the material world. It's expected. More important is the mood, the desire to rectify. And if this is in place, then yes.
I just had a situation where someone's come and wanted to tell me all their problems about a situation, and I didn't engage with them so much because I could feel that they were, and they were like, oh, fine, just go chat or something like that. So, I think an aspect is to address the emotion of that person, possibly, as well as, obviously, from a spiritual perspective, but, I understand that you felt how they felt, because, they sometimes devotees say, I think I felt like this, but I couldn't talk to anyone about it, like that. So if you focus on them rather than the situation, that they felt hurt or they felt angry or, like that, because, like you said, if we can't just ignore, especially if you have a relationship, then,
Very good point, yeah. To kind of to bring the point from criticizing another aspect to actually to their own needs to be appreciated, and someone to pay attention what they say. It can be very effective. Usually it happens like this. People actually, when they want to share, they want someone to listen to them. It's not that they need a solution from you. Many times, just by listening to them, at the end they feel relieved and they find the solution inside. Krishna as Paramatma, often he helps. So it's very important to listen carefully. Of course, it's our choice. There are devotees that they just don't want to listen to these things, and they cannot be blamed. But if you have a relationship with someone, I think this is part of the Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the same way, Arjuna says this. When he finally understands who is Krishna, Arjuna feel he feels sorry that he treated Krishna as a friend. Then he says, well, please forgive me as a friend tolerates the friend, and in the same way. You remember this place? It's a part of the tapasya to be friend. You have to tolerate these things and try to help. Okay? Yes, bro.
Inside what she was saying, sometimes a person comes to you and he wants to talk about what he's been through, and inside is his feeling of criticizing. So sometimes I'm in a position where I'm trying to figure out how to support his feelings, support him, and not be involved in the actual topic.
Yeah.
So how is that you listen but you don't associate with the person? How can we do that?
Well, first of all, we should have this personal internal commitment that I'm not engaging this gossiping. I'm not taking part of this. And if this is very strong inside, then we can all the time try to discriminate and to be conscious what is our actual motivation when we are talking to this person. By discrimination, knowledge, by determination, by sincerity.
And then not propagating any further, right? You talk and that's finished. Right?
Try to keep it as, how to say, not as short as possible, but as on the point. Focus, yeah, very good. And also try to address these emotional needs of your friend or whoever it is. Don't ignore this also.
But also one thing Maharaj said is, how often do devotees give the advice to chant extra rounds and things like, if there's some sort of material problem, very often people are scared to say, oh, have you tried chanting extra, or are you chanting your rounds, or, also, yeah, the emotions are there, but when we have spiritual solutions to material problems, as Pandava said, and Maharaj emphasizes, there's no material solution to any of these problems. So I think sometimes people, if you do give a spiritual solution, they're like, oh, but ultimately that's all you can ever do. You can hear the support, but the only real solution is to engage in Krishna consciousness. So I don't think we should be afraid to do that, even if it doesn't make us like popular and lovey-dovey.
I think because maybe in the past this was the only response that the people were getting. If someone just reveals his mind and his weakness is then the only thing they just, you in Maya and you have to change. And then in due course of time this became like very unpopular. People start to,
I think it's an art.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it's not true. We should always advise this. And we should follow this ourselves also. Project, you wanted to say something?
On this point of fault finding and accepting the reactions, does that happen also if you are fault finding in your mind that you don't let it come out?
In Kali Yuga, usually we don't get reactions for what you think, but the problem is that when you think and you meditate, contemplate, then usually you actually will indulge in this in using your gross body. That's the danger. But as far as I know, this is the advantage of Kali Yuga is that you don't get reactions for thinking badly about or committing offense. It's not good, but you don't get immediate reaction unless this is how to say grossified by the gross body. Is this okay?
And another point about this, for example, we might, receive an email, on this has happened, that has happened. So pointing out, what are the spiritual principles behind and a possible solution, is that also fault-finding?
Not necessarily. Actually, this is what is supposed to be done in such situation. Of course, pointing out the spiritual principles and quoting Shastra, the mood behind it could also be offensive. It's very subtle. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. So that means if the person feels offended by that approach, then actually it is fault-finding.
He might feel offended, but it depends also on the person. It could be that he's offended, but it is not fault finding, because many people they got offended when even when Prabhupada was around, then Prabhupada would say something and people left the movement because of this. So it's not so easy to, and actually it's not our business ultimately. We should try our best. Who is right, who is wrong, and 30% he is right, 70%. It's not. We cannot understand this, and it's not our business ultimately. We should try our best to give the Siddhanta and to preach the message of Shastra according to our Sampradaya and help people, devotees also, without criticizing them, without indulging in fault finding. And yeah.
So, in a practical example, that if you are on an email conference and one devotee is putting forward something and you're trying to find, that spiritual solution and that specific person doesn't accept, but your mood is trying to help the person and the rest of the conference understands, then would it be fault-finding?
First of all, if you ask me personally, I don't think email conference is the best way to solve this problem. Because usually we are talking here about revealing the mind confidence. And it doesn't work like this. Usually. Unless this is an email conference of very good friends who know. But usually it's not like this. These are all kinds of people. And you trust one of them, 10 of them you don't know, you don't trust. And they're all in your case. And you can imagine this person, how he would feel if they all try to give him solution. And even if they quote Shastra. I remember there was, before, 10 years ago, a devotee committed suicide. And then the husband of this Mataji, he was very disturbed, of course. And then he came to the temple, and another devotee just saw him, and the first thing he told him is, he was quoting Bhagavad Gita. He quoted Bhagavad Gita to him. The first thing he did, the devotee just was coming just from the funeral, and then the devotees were quoting what was the verse? Matra sparshas tikanti shitoshna sukha agamipa. These kind of things. Now it's not really offensive, but it's very insensitive. And you in Mayapur, you don't. Why you're crying? This is nonsense. We are not this body. And these things will never work. Although you quote Shastra, but it's not according to time, place, and circumstance. You don't know actually how to apply it properly. So, email conferences, I would say you discuss personally with your friend and try to help him personally. You never embarrass someone in front of everybody if he has done something bad. You never do this. Even the karmas, they know. So I think it's not the proper environment to email conferences to practice these loving exchanges. It's not the best. It could be done, but it's not the best environment. So I would suggest just talk to him personally. Is that okay?
That's okay. But in this example, this devotee is always using the conference to put forward his point. So he's kind of putting himself in a position.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh, okay. See,
he needs to be rectified publicly.
it comes from him. And what he says, he kind of, these are my problems, so please help me. What should I do? Like this, or?
I was trying to help him understand, how it affects people and what could be a proper way of doing it. But he doesn't accept,
Yeah. Then he'll have to learn the other way. When nobody answers his emails and nobody wants to associate with him, then he'll get it finally.
doesn't care, he just keeps on pushing things.
Ultimately, he will have to care because it's like this. You learn by this way or by that way. Okay? Alright, so Vacha Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udara Pasta Vegam, Etan Vegan Yovisha Hetadira, Sarvam Apimam Pritvim Sashishyat. So we spoke about Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam yesterday. Now the next one is Kroda, which is anger. Kroda comes from unfulfilled material desires. When there is an obstacle in fulfilling our separate desires from Krishna, then the acharyas point out in the purports of Gita, then anger arises in order to burn the obstacle, to destroy the obstacle. And anger is very contaminating. Contaminates the gross body, the subtle body, the intelligence, everything becomes contaminated by anger. So what is the solution of anger? How to control, how to engage anger in Krishna service? This is the example, classical example given in purport. The Bhimasena also, I guess, can be used. So we shouldn't be angry when we are offended personally. We should try to take the humble position because, and don't take it personally also. Because anyway, our karma, we have karma, and then this karma should come to us via the agency of some jiva. And then it's nothing personal actually, because the jiva is just also an instrument in the hands of destiny. Then he has to do this to us, and it's our fault. It's not that he hates us or she hates us or anything. It just the karma has to come somehow or other, and it comes in this way. Srila Prabhupada once said something very interesting. One of his disciples were complaining that a god brother stole something from him, stealing. And then Prabhupada said, "Don't get upset by the agent of your karma." So, if we are humble, then this is the best way. Then whatever will come, and then we'll get purified. If we don't react, and then it will go away. If we react, then we'll have to accept the next reaction. And Prabhupada also said something interesting about anger. Someone asked him, "Is there anything practical I can do when I get very angry?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, you think about Lord Nrsimhadev. He's unlimitedly angry. So how exactly that works? I never tried till now, but we can try to see. Should be working somehow." Yes, someone wanted to. Yes. No? Okay. Yes.
As there's another example of using anger in the Lord's services, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was
angry. Yeah. Actually, it's here in the purport.
That's why it's so fresh in my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is that we should become angry when the Lord or the devotees are offended. Then we should react somehow.
We don't? Is that a problem?
It is. If we cannot stop this offender, we should at least leave the place. But if you just stay there and listen, then Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar of Devotion, then there is a danger that you will fall down also, because you listen to these offenses. I think you heard about one of the techniques the deprogrammators were using before, in the 70s, when they were kidnapping devotees and trying to break down their determination to be devotees, because they were hired by the parents, by all these weird stories.
Even in the 90s,
Yeah, wow, I thought, no, now it doesn't go anymore.
That was
Okay.
when I was number 3, so it was like babies.
Anyway, one of the first things they do, they blaspheme Krishna, Prabhupada, and the person, the devotee, has to listen to this. And they even start, destroying books, Prabhupada's books in the front of the devotee. So when Prabhupada heard about this, that someone did destroy one of his books, Prabhupada's comments was, he will get human birth in his next life because he touched my books. So one should leave the place. If you can actually stop this offender by quoting Shastra and convincing him strongly, forcefully, then you can do this. If you cannot, then you just better leave the place. But don't stay there.
When I break up his match, she just turns it in their mind.
Yeah.
All the time.
She is still devotee now?
Yeah.
Enjoy.
So, if somebody is blaspheming the Lord and his devotees, then only by verbal argument we should stop them, and if we're unable, then we should do that.
Or verbal or physical also. I mean, if he's very offensive, if he attacks devotees or the deities, then...
When Prabhupada came to Sydney University, to Australia.
Oh yeah, it's a famous story.
They placed all these war protesters in the auditorium to just ask offensive questions, and they were all placed everywhere, and no one else could speak. They would just stand up. And,
Yeah.
because they were all against the Vietnam War. They saw that but in this war. They accused Prabhupada of coming to propagate the American idea of the Vietnam War. And basically the devotees eventually kicked them all out. And they had a big brawl in the foyer of the auditorium. And there were knives, the devotees brought out knives and everything. And there was like a full-on brawl. Prabhupada was still in there giving the lecture. The brawl was going on outside. And actually, Aparam, he was a temple president a few years ago of Sydney Temple. He was a student that came to hear the lecture. He saw the devotees fighting, and he thought, wow, these guys are so, committed that knowing the movement.
Yeah.
Sometimes physical violence.
Prabhupada says, if there is a famous quote, Prabhupada says, someone was, what was the word? Blaming me. That people joining your movement, they become cowards. But Prabhupada says, but no, if you look the history, you see the biggest fighters in the history was always Vishnu and the Vaishnava. There are two great wars in the history. The first, Rama and Hanuman was the great hero. Then the second, Krishna and Arjuna. So if the need comes, then the Vaishnavas, they should be ready also to fight the demons and to kill them. So it's there. If there is a need. It's not that unnecessary violence is encouraged. No, but a Vaishnava is not a coward. He can do anything for Krishna. Fight or be very humble. Yes?
And one nice example can be the good opportunity for demons too to be one kind of devotee. When we were in Sankirtan mission in a very big city, and that city it was collapsed in industrial sense. So there were so many poor people who was very angry to the government and this and that. So we thought it's a very good opportunity to distribute books. But where I stayed, I was in the same place. I stayed there in front of the post office and the bank. And the leaders of the bank always come out and see I am in front of the bank and always go very bad first to me. Go away, it's not good, it's a business and it's not good here. But I always just thought, okay, just one day. And tomorrow, just one day. And once time there was a beggar there. And see, when I give to book to people give me money. And
after 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
the beggar
Envious.
hit me.
Krishna.
And so the leader of the band and come out and told the beggar, what you do? Go away. This person stayed here, distributed these books, these spiritual books from the store, and I was amazing at the stayed there. It was changing day by day.
They get purified just by observing. Yeah, many times they.
One question. Here in Bengal, when you want to do some service, very commonly you're cheated.
Yeah.
You feel angry about that. Then one position is to be humble and say, okay, it's my karma. But then Prabhupada says somewhere that you don't need to be cheated, to let you cheat.
It's a sinful.
Yeah, it's sinful. So.
In a sense that these are Krishna's money, you're devotee, so you're supposed to use all your facilities for Krishna, and if some non-devotee comes, cheats you, gets the money, and uses this money for sense gratification, it is sinful. Yeah.
So, when people do that, should we go make a case then, or you should do the service right, or you should just leave that?
No, I think we shouldn't allow to be cheated as much. But Prabhupada was never into this mood of just allowing people to take advantage of him. He was, especially here in India, he was always very determined that he won't be cheated. He was telling the devotees also, this is the price is like this, you don't give more. And, yes, I think these are Krishna's money, and they should be used for Krishna, not for Maya. Should be very punctual in this.
I was going to say that I think Prabhupada went to America with 40 rupees, right?
Yeah.
And then when he came back, he still had the 40 rupees. And they took an ambassador, I think, from Calcutta to Mayapur. I think it was Hayagriva. He gave the taxi driver 40 rupees.
The taxi driver cheated them.
Yeah, anyway, Prabhupada really angry.
Yeah, he was very angry. Yeah. He was counting the last rupee. Everything should be spent for Krishna. He was very punctual. Prabhupada. Okay, so the next one, the tongue and the belly. How do you control this? By
Taking only prasadam.
taking Krishna prasadam.
Chanting the name.
Yep. This comes in the first category, Vachuvegam, the urge to speak. So, but it's the same. Okay, we spoke about this. However, one can try to enjoy even when he eats prasadam only. We should be aware of this. How do we do that? By overeating. This will be mentioned a little later as one of the obstacles, atihara paryashicha, overeating. Eating too spicy food. This is very common here in Bengal. I mean, at least for our Western understanding. Too spicy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the food in Rajaguna is too, and he lists several things like too spicy, too pungent, too salty, too dry. And this kind of food will bring misery. It will bring suffering already when you're eating, and you will bring misery later. You will get sick. Yes.
No, this Krishna doesn't mention foods in Rajaguna too sweet, right?
Yeah.
So too sweet must be suffering.
No. Someone asked this question to Jadvaita Swami. And he said, no. If it is too sweet, then it's also not good.
What a passion.
This was his explanation.
Overdone.
Yeah. Because you take the principle, two, and then even if it's not mentioned, yeah. But it's also too sweet. It's not good for the. You'll get sick if you eat too sweet. That's also true. So it should. I mean, it's not good. It should be passion. Or opulent food, rich food. Also, by offering the deity nice food, and you think that later on you will enjoy this food, it is also obstacle. Although apparently you're serving the deities very nice food, but your motivation is that later on you will eat this, enjoy. Then, by being eager to accept invitations from rich people, because you know that they will have a nice feast. Let's say you get 2 invitations. One is from a very rich devotee and the other one is from a normal devotee. Then you accept this invitation because you think that you will enjoy better. This is also not good. It's not Krishna conscious.
And sometimes not always true.
Huh?
And sometimes not always true. Sometimes normal devotees make such a nice balance that
yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. There is a famous verse, I think from Rupa Goswami. If one cannot attain Krishna consciousness, if he just running here and there trying to satisfy his tongue, he will not be able to attain Krishna consciousness.
So Prabhu,
yes.
In this sense, the driving principle underneath would be to switch our identity, right, from the enjoyer of the prasadam to the servant.
Service, yeah. Servant of the prasadam. Then, even if you eat opulent prasadam, some people cannot eat opulent, rich prasadam. This is a austerity for them. Some people, like the brahmacharis, they always want to eat paneer sarda, but the sannyasis, the brahmacharis, they want to eat this. Nobody offers this to them. The sannyasis, everybody offers so this, but they cannot anymore because of bad digestion. So it's always kind of austerity included there. Yeah, accept the taking. Honoring prasadam as a service for your purification. Then, and of course, keep in mind what is the situation, the position of your body. Then you should keep your body fit for service. Then if you take 2 or do this, it will be problem to obstruct the service. Okay. So if you are successful in controlling the tongue and the tongue, then you will be successful in controlling the belly and the genitals also. So how do you control the genitals?
By controlling the tongue.
Yes. Very good. When they are controlled, then by producing Krishna conscious children. Yes. Sounds like producing. Yes.
That means that if we control the tongue, focus on controlling the tongue, then is there a need to make a separate endeavor to control the belly and genitals?
Yeah.
There is still.
Yeah. But it will be much easier. For example, the Buddhist monks, they have this rule that you don't take dinner. You never eat in the evening. If you're a monk, then you eat in the morning and you take lunch, but never in the evening. And it helps. But it's not that this is the only thing you just have to forget about. No. You have to be aware of all these senses. All of them should be controlled. But it is very helpful. Okay. Yes.
Is the distinction between the urges of the tongue and the belly is that the urge of the tongue is to eat nice tasting things, opulent and stuff, and the urge of the belly is to eat a lot. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're very much connected, but basically. Because sometimes, I've noticed, you can overeat. You just want to take a lot of prasadam, even if you don't like it so much. If it is not your favorite, but you just have to fill up the belly. Let's say you're depressed by something, and you have to forget about this, and you will keep eating. So there must be some subtle difference between these two. Otherwise, they won't be mentioned separately. All right. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, in his commentary, he divides these 6 urges into 3 categories, 3 types. The first is the urge to speak. Then the second is the urge of the mind, which is divided in 2 parts. This is all from the purport. You should know about this if you read the purport carefully. Aviroda Priti, that means unrestricted attachment, very strong attachment to matter. And then Viroda Yukta Krodha. This will be what? Very strong attachment leads to frustration and anger. And then the urge of the body is divided in three. The tongue, the belly, and the genitals. Alright, for today you had to read the purport carefully and to pick up something from the purport that is very practical, or from the verse that is very relevant to you. But we don't have time to do it, and we'll do it next time. But I would like to ask you something else. Think about this. What will happen if the guru has all these qualities? He controls the senses nicely. What will be the result? And if he doesn't also, what will be the result? And we'll discuss next time. You got it? Okay. Next time we'll talk about this. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada.